Hey, what's up guys, Theo here. It's been a while since I've done a video. In the video today, we're going to look at how to use useState, which is a React hook. If you're not familiar with hooks, you can go here and look at the docs for hooks. And again, it's here on the sidebar, hooks, new. And I'm looking at number 7, the API reference. useState is just a replacement, similar to a replacement, or an alternative to using setState in a functional stateless component, so not non-class based components. So again, there's a lot of hooks, so you can build your own. You can, dive deeper into this. We're just going to look at useState. So I have set up a basic scaffold with create React app, and what I want to do is basically just make a very simple counter component, right? And we just do an import, and there's our counter. Get rid of that real quick. And this will just accept, obviously, the props. It can accept whatever you want. But the beauty of this is basically using state, right? So the way useState works is we can call it, and it's going to give us back an array with a getter and a setter. So you could name this, right, state and setState here, whatever you want. If you look at the docs, though, it's generally named as more intuitive stuff, right? So again, this is state and setState. And again, you set it with the initial state right here. And so we can do that. We're just going to almost set up this counter. I'm not going to copy this exactly. But what we can do here is go ahead and take this out. And I'm going to bring in, let me just bring in the counter component. And let me save that. Counter, doesn't want to import it. Counter, there we go. And we'll just say initial count, right? And we'll just make this 5. And we'll just say like increment by, and we'll just do 10. There's our counter component, and then again we can look at the props that it accepts. We'll just destructure, and we'll say increment by an initial count, right? So we got our props. We'll just say count. We'll just say current count. We'll just say count and set count, and then we'll say useState. And again, you can give this an object. You can give whatever you want. The beauty of useState is that if you're familiar with state, then state always has to be an object, right? We can't just make it a primitive value. So anyways, we'll just start it off with the initial count, and just in case they don't pass, do we have prop types in here? I don't really want to install it if we don't have it. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But right, here's initial count, and again we could set that to 0 if they don't pass anything. And now we can go in here and log out, what is the count and what is set count, right? And we'll just see what this is, and then in here actually we'll just return a div saying I am the counter component. Very simple. Again, we're not really going for the UI on the counter component. And if we look here in the console, we're going to see here it's 5, and then this is dispatching an action, right? And so that's just the dispatch, right? So again, we can call this multiple times. A few rules. This has to be called in a functional stateless component. And so let's just explore this, right? Here, we're going to say, we're just going to do like a basic span, and I'm going to put the count. And let me just do this, HR. There we go. I'm the counter component 5, and we'll just say the count is 5, right? And then down here we'll just have a basic button, and we'll just say click to increment by, and then we'll just bind the increment by right here. click to increment by 10. We'll just add one more HR right here. And just showing it to you. Click to increment by 10. And we'll just give this an on click. And what will we say? We will just say this will be a function. And this is going to set count. And what set count is going to do is going to take the increment by the count, or the current count plus the increment by, right? So again, we can watch this in action here. 15, 25, 35. We're seeing it go up each time, right? Refresh that. Cool. So again, very simple right there. Very simple example. And then again, we could have another button. We could just copy this, right? And we could say click to decrement by, increment by, right? And then we could say here, count minus increment by, if you wanted to decrement, right? There we go, and we're going back up. So very simple demo. And one of the cool things that I hadn't used personally in production, but looks like we can also, because if you're familiar with setState, it also lets you, I mean, a lot of it, you're merging two objects, right? So we can have this little function too. So we could change this to be, we could just say initial count, right? And then set count might be, we'll just say update count. We'll just create this method, right? And that will be set count, and that will take the, we'll just follow this pattern right here. Previous state, let me just change this. Here we go. Update count is a function, and then we'll just say set count, previous state, return previous state, and let me see, previous state, and then we will say, what do we want to say here? We want to say initial count is equal to, again, we're just going to look at the increment count, initial count, or actually let me just change this as count, initial count, and then count is going to be equal to count plus increment by, and then change this to increment count, and let me make sure this works. Increment count, and what is it saying? Increment count on click, increment count is a function, and why is that not working? useState, oh okay, let me just say state, and let me just destructure the count from the state right there. There we go. Let me try and refresh this. There we go. So now if we go ahead and increment, there we go. It's still working the same. And let's just look at the state right here. So this is nice, right? We can mimic the functionality we had with React. So again, it's just an object, right? And so let's just also give it, a version number, right? Or just 1.0.0, whatever. So now if we look at it, it's maintaining all of that stuff. And just to look at it, right? What is the previous state? What is it actually giving us? It should just be giving us back what we currently had, right? So, cool. All right, guys. Well, that's about it. Again, I'd need to wire it up for that. We could do that, right? We could just change this function to be, again, decrement count. You could do whatever you want. Count minus decrement. Change this. Just wrap that up. Decrement count. There we go. Get rid of that. And let me get rid of these two logs right there. And cool. So we got all of our functions in place. Nice. That's about it, guys. And let me open up our tabs right here. And again, as you can sort of see, it's using this hook. And I think if we also, we can customize it if we wanted to look at it. Hooks API, where's the use debug value, and let me see if I can just show you guys this one. I don't think I've used this, but if we have the dev tools up, right, we could say, let me just say use debug value. Or here we'll just say decrement count, right? Or we'll just do this decrement count and wrap that up there. We'll just try one just to see. And cool, what is it saying? We said function, use debug value. Oh, I can't call it within. Use debug value. Oh, I might need to. We'll just say, look, I don't want to go too deep in this. We'll just say counter hook. And we wrap that up. And look at the counter. And I don't know if it's going to show it to us though. Let's see. Use debug value. Play a label for custom hook. Oh, I had to make our own custom hook, I think. So let's see. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Let me just see if I can wrap all this up. We'll just say function. No, I don't want to get too deep into that. That's kind of derailing us from this tutorial. So let me just wrap this all up right here. And anyways, yeah, guys, I upload this so you can see the source code. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.